Are you over 35 and feeling too old to start writing? Or are you discouraged thinking, I won't go anywhere with this. I couldn't get published. There's no point at this age in life. Now, I could tell you that's not true. And I even have some books that I could use to back that up. But why would you listen to me? Why don't we listen to these women who are going to show you you are definitely not too old? I am Emily B. Riddle. I am an indie published romance author, and I would love to let these beloved female authors show you while you are not too late to start writing. Now, I know we all appreciate someone who has written something beautiful and had it published around the time she's 25. And here I'm thinking of Zadie Smith, Emily Henry, Jenny Han. These women have written gorgeous books before their prefrontal cortexes were fully developed. Jane Austen, my gosh, she wrote Northanger Abbey in her early 20s and was sending it to agents. Though we're going to circle back to Jane, so pin this one for a minute. So let me give you some evidence, some fact-based information to encourage you in this journey. So our first example is none other than Toni Morrison herself, who published The Bluest Eye at the age of 39. She was mothering two small children. She was divorced. And I'm fairly certain she was still an editor when she put this book into the world. Now I hear you. You're like, right, Toni freaking Morrison, that's where we're going to start this? I hear that. I know that. I get that. But also, inspiration, ladies, Toni Morrison at 39 produced her first book. And then she went on to write a few more. Number 2, the queen of rom-com. Ruler of romance, you might say. My patron saint of sweet and salty stories. It's none other than Nora Ephron, who was 41 years old when she was published. Now, also, again, caveat here, little asterisks where you're like, but she wrote screenplays. That is true. She did, right? And before she was writing screenplays, she was a journalist. She was putting her words out there as a journalist. But her first novel, Heartburn, came out in 1983, as did, I believe, her first screenplay, which I think was for Silkwood. She did write many books, though, in her life, or at least several books. Many could be dramatic. She wrote several books. But Heartburn, her autobiographical novel of her experience, a little bit of her first marriage, but mostly that second marriage. And if you know, you know about that second marriage. That book was bananas good. It is one of the funniest things I've ever put in front of my eyeballs and read it. I love it so dearly. And again, that was at the age of 41 that came out into the world. And I do want to encourage you here on this question about, well, she was a journalist first. She was already publishing to a certain extent. She was. And you could be too. Have you heard of a platform called Substack? You could be putting some words there as of right now. You could be today years old and start your own little newsletter and just start sharing some words with the world. I have a Substack. You're welcome to come check that out to see how simple and easy it is to get started. It's a great way. It's a free way. It's a fun way to put some information out for early eyes, right? Start that practice now. Beef up those muscles like Miss Ephron did. Let's talk about tangible people. Like let's come down out of those clouds of those Miss Morrison, Miss Ephron clouds, and let's look at two writers who are achieving what I might call respectable levels of hype, and yet are still who appear to be approachable humans. That would be Sonali Dev and Abby Waxman. So Miss Dev was 42 when she started publishing. Miss Waxman was 47. They have both published at least 7 novels, and they are writing delightful, engaging women's fiction and romance, and I cannot get enough of either one of them. Tell me in the comments below if you've heard of either of them, of both of them, if you've read them. And regardless, I will add a link here so you can find each of them. Go find their work. They are writing fabulous things, and you might not have heard of them because they are not at these colossal headline breaking levels at this point. But who needs to be? They're making careers for themselves over the age of 40 as writers. Let's circle back. Our last one here. Very excited about this one. Remember when I mentioned Jane early on? And if you're here, it's because you love romance, and I can just call her Jane or Miss Austen. Makes me think of Janet, right? Miss Austen, if you're, maybe in this case, it's like Miss Austen if you're proper. I digress. So Jane submitted Northern Drew Abbey in her early 20s. She wrote it in her early 20s. She submitted it. And guess what happened? Nobody picked it up. Nobody wanted to publish her book. And at that point, she quit. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? What if she had? She didn't quit. She kept writing. And do you know what happened? At 35, she published a book known as Sense and Sensibility. You may have heard of the novel itself or the billion movies that have been made of it because it was so good. And from there, she continued to publish banger after banger, year after year, until she died very young in her early 40s, which is terrible. But that is not our course. We can publish just like Miss Austen after the age of 35. We can do hard and tough things at a later date in life because we are women with knowledge and power and information. And more than any of those things, we are passionate about this. I could keep going. I've got Amy Tan at 37. There's Isabel Allende at 40. There's Ursula K. Le Guin at 36. You might not have heard of any of these women. All bestsellers. So as you get into your day-to-day, as you get out your pen, or more realistically, as you turn on your laptop, I hope you'll take these women with you. You don't need me telling you that you can do this at this age, whatever age you might be at that does not feel like you are brand new to life. You don't need me to tell you this because you have these women who have already done it. Now, I would include myself in this group. These books back here will tell you that. Again, I've published these after the age of 40. I wrote them starting at the age of 40. I published one at 42, 43, 44. I've got another one coming out this year. We'll see if I publish it before I turn 45. But it is so possible to make a rich career for yourself, whether you ever make money at it or become famous. It is so possible to take something that you love, this passion you have, and turn it into real work at a later age in life. So I'd love to know below, did you know any of these facts prior to me sharing them with you here? Research is not my strong suit, and y'all, I Googled hard trying to make sure I was bringing you fact-based inspiration is what we're going to call this. Tell me below what you thought about it. If you knew these women, if you were aware that they had done so well a little later in life, did this inspire and encourage you? I would love to chat. And in the meantime, if you would like to read about women over the age of 35 living delightful romantic lives, I would encourage you to find my books. They're here behind me. The link is listed below. They're in paperback, Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited. You can read them there. I hope you'll come find me on that Substack I mentioned. It is a fun, free, and fast read. It's always sort of tinged with some humor, real life happenings, and book updates. You can find me on Instagram. And I would love to have you stick around to watch this next video about 4 authors who inspired me after 40 and why I think they could inspire you too. And I hope I see you again here soon.